Hello there, friends. Thanks for coming back to this vlog. As you can see, I'm in a different location here, and it's been a little while. This vlog will actually be the last in my project vlog series for my explorations into Scottish traditional music. Following this, there will be like a postscript type vlog that we'll get in. I'll talk a little bit more about what I've learned personally from this project, and it won't all be strictly project related. But for this vlog, I want to play the 6 tunes for you that I started at the very beginning, so a few months ago. In the process of learning these, I have learned so much. First off, I just want to say my hat is completely off to all the tune musicians, all the session musicians. I have had so much respect for them already, but even in just really focusing on 6 tunes and keeping keys, titles, and melodies all straight in my head, and doing that from the beginning of learning these, and knowing that some of you have hundreds of tunes cataloged in your head, it's amazing to me. And I'm on my, that's a goal of mine, is to get to where I have many in a catalog in my head. But to all of you who already have that, I'm amazed. So I just want to make a note of that for anybody listening. Secondly, before I play these, I want to talk through a little bit of what you're going to hear so you have an idea of what to expect. So all of the tunes that I chose none of the tunes that I chose are specifically harp tunes. So in that, what I'm doing is not completely traditional, because these tunes have been composed primarily for the fiddle or for the bagpipes. What I have tried to do is play them a little bit more traditionally in their accompaniment, which means the sound is more open, and the accompaniment is a little bit scarcer, and it's really the melody that dances on the top and should be able to hold its own. In learning these, I've just realized that to play a simple tune well, to play it beautifully and have it sing out and hold its own, is also a skill of its own. And so while there has been a lot of work that has gone into learning these and understanding them, there's still just so much more that I could do with them, and I'm still gathering the tools to do that in the way that I want to be able to do justice to tunes like these, because they are so beautiful. And you may or may not hear that. One other thing I wanted to note was ornamentation. So when I say ornamentation, for those of you who maybe don't know as much about music, right? Ornamentation is cuts or grace notes. It's the quick notes in between all of the melody notes. That's a rough definition. Ornamentation is an integral part of Scottish music, and there's certain ways to ornament the music that are more traditionally Scottish than even, say, Irish is something that I'm learning. I'm still learning some of the differences, but I have picked up on some of those as well. So ornamentation with these tunes, because they weren't composed specifically for harp, some of the tunes take a lot of work to feel comfortable under my fingers on these strings, and so ornamenting was not a very natural thing to incorporate. There's that, and then there's also speed. So with some of these, with the tempo faster, I've just found that it's been more difficult to incorporate ornaments. At the same time, they need to be there, they're necessary. So ornamentation and having it become as natural, having ornamenting become as natural as playing the melody notes, is also something that I'm still working on. Some of these tunes have been great because it's like the ornaments they just almost happened. They were very natural. And others I had to really work for them. and there's a couple where I'm like, I'm still working for them. There's ornaments there, but there's definitely not as many as I would like to have, and as many as others maybe even say is enough to sound traditionally Scottish. So that's something I'm very aware of as I play these. So ornamentation, yeah, that was my last note. A refresher before I play, and then I'm going to get to the music. So the refresher is there's 6 tunes that I'm playing, right? 3 traditional, 3 contemporary, a march, a strathspey and a reel, and a march and a strathspey and a reel. To clarify, I define traditional for this project as any music where the composer is anonymous. And then for contemporary, I define that for this project as any tune where the composer is known. Now, the way that I chose to play these tunes, like I mentioned before, is more traditionally in their stylings, a little bit more open in the accompaniments. For each one of them, I want to be playing them in an AA-BB structure, which is also very traditional. With the contemporary tunes, there are a couple more like harmonies that I will pull in that sound newer or a little bit different, but my goal is to keep that accompaniment open. So the first time through, just melody. Second time through, there will be melody with a little bit of accompaniment, and that's so that melody can really dance the way that it should. That's the goal. That's the goal. And then at the end, there is a bonus tune that I'll tell you a little bit more about when I get there. So without further ado, we'll get right into the tunes. I'm going to start with the scratch that. I'm going to start with the traditional and we'll do the contemporary. So the traditional march that I'll be playing first is called The Trippers, or Tripping Up the Stairs, or there's a couple other Gaelic names for it as well. There's a whole long list of alternative names for this one, but I go by The Trippers. So here we go. Here's The Trippers. The second tune I'll play for you is a strathspey, and the strathspey is called Glengrant. And the last of the traditional tunes is a reel, and this reel is called Sleepy Maggie. I added a little bit of extra onto the end of that one because it feels like it could just keep on going. So that was Sleepy Maggie. Now on to the contemporary tunes. Again, back to the march. This march is the Balmoral Highlanders, and this is by Angus Mackay. And this was traditionally written for bagpipes. So that was the Balmoral Highlanders. Now, actually, give me a second. I'm losing my natural lighting. I'm going to adjust some of the lighting and I will be back. Alright, I'm back. Pardon any strange shadows in the background. This next tune is a Strathspey as well, and it is by Jim Sutherland. It is called The Quiet Man. And last of these three contemporary tunes is the reel. And this one is called Bombay Dog, and it's by Roger Peppe. I hope I'm saying his name right. Alright, well there you are friends, there's those 6 tunes, and you can hear where I've made much progress, especially if you've listened to the previous vlogs. And you can also hear where there's room for much more progress to be made, which is exciting because this is the beginning of so much new for me in Scottish traditional music. Also in the process of playing music written by so many other people about everyday events, which is one of the things I really love about traditional music, is it's written about anything and everything. I have had the desire to write my own music, and I have not successfully done it for a very long time. But in the process of this project, I've also started writing my own music. And I'm not guaranteed that it's going to sound good, but before I moved here to North Carolina, I visited the Isle of Skye with a friend. And as I was traveling back on the train, I had some lyrics that were in my head, and I have composed a tune for them. And I'm excited because this is music out of my everyday life that now I get to share. Like I said, who knows if it's going to go anywhere, but I'm actually really excited to share it with you, because being able to write down my own music and share it with people is something that I was hoping would be an outcome of this work, but I knew I wasn't guaranteed. Anyway, a brief explanation of the tune, and then I will go ahead and sing and play it for you. This tune is about my time in Glasgow and traveling around Scotland, and then moving here to North Carolina. It's called That's Where You'll Find Me, and I talk a lot about nature because there are places both there in Scotland and then here in North Carolina that are just gut-wrenchingly gorgeous, and I would love to go back and visit those places. But I also write about nature because it's easier to write about nature and loving that than loving so many people, and I have some really sweet friendships and relationships in both of these places. And so that is part of where the emotion in the song actually comes from, is the people, not just the nature. Also, a tad bit of information. Here in North Carolina, we have the Smoky Mountains, and so I refer to those towards the end of the song. All right, here is That's Where You'll Find Me. Where the mountains reach the sea, that's where you'll find me. The village on the shore, my heart longs for evermore. Where the mountains reach the sea, that's where you'll find me. Where the train rides o'er the land, that's where I've been to see the villages and locks and all the boats tied to their docks. Where the train rides o'er the land, that's where I've been. This beauty takes my breath away. It's where I wish to stay, among the stones and hills and heather, though I always fight the weather. This beauty takes my breath away. It's where I wish to stay. Too soon, no, I must go. I wish time would be slow. The scenes around me are so intense. To love is my recompense. Too soon, no, I must go. Oh, I wish time would be slow. This beauty takes my breath away. It's where I wish to stay, among the stones and hills and heather, though I always fight the weather. This beauty takes my breath away. It's where I wish to stay. Where the mountains reach the sea, that's where you'll find me. The mountains smoke in this new place, clouds cover, leaving no trace. Where the mountains reach the sea, that's where you'll find me. Alright friends, thanks for joining me on this adventure, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, afternoon, night, evening, wherever it is in the world that you are.